What's happening, everyone? Let me get this. I'm going to change this hat real quick. This hat's a little messed up. Hat's a little messed up looking. Boom. Let's throw that over there. What's going on, everybody? Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning into Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. President Trump is planning on sending the National Guard into Portland because the Portland police are not allowed to do their job as continuous riots and violence breaks out all over the city of Portland, most notably at federal facilities. We're going to break down exactly what the federal troops are going to be doing so that you can combat your leftist friends when they think they're cute and they use the phrase posse comitatus. They learned 2 words in Latin, and now they think they understand the totality of the American founding. Also, reporters being assaulted in Portland by the radical left wing. Not good. Katie Davis Court, whose stuff I use on this show all the time for the Post-Millennial, got knocked out. Got a big-ass bruise on her eye, big black eye, for simply covering what these people are up to. Also, day 2 of the Schumer shutdown. I don't know. Nothing's changed. Maybe, just a thought, we'll be able to survive without the accountants at the Department of the Interior. I don't know. Maybe we won't. Maybe democracy will end because the Department of Education isn't there to put new guidelines that are paid for by the teachers union. I don't know. Maybe we're all going to die. I mean, probably not, but just in case. We'll go over all of that. Carolyn Levitt also trolls the press room yesterday, and it has Caitlin Collins very upset. And because it has Caitlin Collins very upset, it has me laughing. But before we get started, guys, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. We are rocking. We are rolling. Once again, guys, we have a jam-packed weekend. Big-ass weekend for our local audience on Saturday. We've got the 6th annual Run to the End, baby. We'll be at the Massapequa train station from 10 a.m. to 12. Flags up at 12. Headed out east, baby. All the way to the end. All the way to Montauk Lighthouse. Giddy up. Let's go. Up. Giddy, let's go. If you guys are hanging out east, or if you're in the eastern area, feel free to jump on anywhere along the parade route. It's going to be a good time. We do it every year. This one's going to be a banger for sure. Also on Sunday, we will be at the St. James Street Fair. Massive voter registration drive. Come on out. Say hello. Giddy up. Let's go. Let's dive into it. So the breaking news at this hour, President Trump has decided that because Portland Police Department are not able to do their jobs, that he will be sending in the National Guard. He'll be sending in the National Guard to protect federal buildings. Now, you're going to hear idiots, midwits, use a phrase called the Posse Comitatus Act. We're going to get into exactly what that is and exactly what the federal troops are doing in just a minute. Before we get that, here's Fox News.
Security, ISIS Portland director Kamala Wamsley told me she's extremely frustrated with Portland police, as she says the Portland mayor and city council largely block police from responding to any violence at ISIS building. Take a listen.
They're not really supposed to respond to this building. There have been folks that have been assaulted right down here on the street, even across the street, and it takes Portland police a while to respond, or sometimes they don't respond at all.
Is that frustrating?
It is frustrating. It's frustrating for us to watch people be attacked on the street and know that we don't have the authority to be able to really step in unless there's some nexus to federal law. That's frustrating for us.
And last night we did see multiple verbal scuffles almost get to the point of physical confrontations, all while the Portland police liaisons were standing just across the street watching everything but deciding not to intervene. And that, in part, is why President Trump has said he is sending the National Guard here to Portland. He says the locals aren't doing their job when it comes to protecting this federal facility, so he's going to send the military in. But as of this morning, as you can see, the National Guard not out here just yet. We'll send it back to you.
All right.
So President Trump will be sending in the National Guard to protect federal buildings in Portland, Oregon. Now, of course, Portland, Oregon has been the epicenter for the Antifa violence over the last, 10, 15 years or so. And you're going to hear a lot of idiots on the left use the phrase the Posse Comitatus Act. Well, what the hell is that? They learned two words in Latin, and now they think they're geniuses. Well, the Posse Comitatus Act was signed by Rutherford B. Hayes in 1878, and what it does is it limits the power of the federal government and other government entities, such as the sheriffs and the justices of the peace, that authorize the form of Posse Comitatus to use in the use of the federal government. In layman's terms, what this act does is it says that the federal government cannot be used, the federal military cannot be used to enforce local laws, local municipalities. So, like, you'll never be arrested by a Marine, so to speak. The federal government cannot use the Army because you pay for the Army against you. That's essentially what it means. So you'll hear many people on the left scream about this, that he's sending the National Guard in to arrest United States citizens. Now, that's not what he's doing. Not what he's doing at all. They are standing outside of federal buildings because federal buildings are federal property. So if Antifa wants to go burn down local communities, they are free to do so. They're free to do so anytime they want. And the feds that are posted up outside of these ICE facilities and federal courthouses cannot enforce the local law unless, of course, the law is being broken against the federal facility. That is pretty much the layman term for what all is happening. And we are certainly getting a whole bunch of that happening right now in the city of Portland. We had riots break out over the weekend. And throughout the week, here were some of the scenes out of a major American city.
You girlies are coming out there, huh? You feel like big strong coming out here and taking the have yourselves. You got your hair all braided, your neck. Why are you pushing peaceful protesters off of public property? And fucking push us around and crazy enough. Following illegal orders! You don't even know where! Are you in? And following illegal fucking orders! Every fucking day! Every fucking night!
That is public property.
We are public fucking property until you came and stopped us in the middle of the street. So what's your fucking issue, bro?
So there's war basically breaking out on the streets of Portland right now. And of course, we know that that's going to happen there because the leaders in Portland support what is happening. Maybe not tacitly, maybe not out loud, but by not allowing the Portland police to do their jobs, not allowing police officers to enforce the law, you're getting more and more violence. So President Trump is going to nip this in the bud on the federal level before this thing gets to fester, before it gets to the point where we get the sort of Chaz Chop sort of situation that we saw in Seattle. And for their trouble, the journalists, many of whom are out there on the ground, are being beaten up because they are daring to film a bunch of fat lesbian activists wearing their niece's bike helmet out there to become a revolutionary. Need any more proof of that? Here's Katie Daviscourt, whose stuff I use on this show all the time. She's a reporter for the Post Millennial. Here she was with a black guy for her trouble.
Wow, that is quite a shiner. You all right?
Oh, yeah, I definitely have a black eye. So that's what it's been like covering Portland for the past 4 months. Complete lawlessness.
Wow. They say it's just one city block. Is that even true?
That's not true. So it went from being a war zone to one city block, but it's actually several blocks where that is completely controlled by Antifa affiliated protesters who harass, assault, and threaten anyone who they perceive to be a threat to their cause, including journalists, local residents, and ICE agents. And the Trump administration is absolutely correct in deploying federal troops here because Portland police has completely abandoned this zone. They refuse to go in, and everyone that shows up is on their own.
So it's kind of like Chaz or CHOP was in Seattle. They just, I guess, secede this territory, cede it to Antifa, and they just let everything play out?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So last night I got assaulted and I immediately ran to a Portland police officer, hunted down the suspect, chased her through the streets and said, "This is my assault suspect. Can you guys finally do something?" And I had eyes on her for about 35 minutes. Portland police refused to come in and make an arrest. And I had 3 officers just standing there watching me try to hunt down this suspect. And imagine my anger when I go online after doing all of that about an hour ago. And I see Portland police put out a bolo asking for the public's help in identifying my assault suspect. So that is what it's like on the ground here in Portland. And it's time for a federal crackdown. The Trump administration needs to start treating Antifa like ISIS, the terrorists that they are, and put an end to them here for good.
All right. So Portland police say they're investigating. I guess you had spoken to a dialogue officer. I don't even know what that means, but he did nothing. So I don't even know what he's there for. Does it kind of feel like Portland officials, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but have formed some sort of alliance with Antifa?
Oh, absolutely. I would consider them Antifa at this point. Why not? So their whole agenda is to get ICE out of Portland. So they're trying to shield the public from what's going on down on the ground. But I have 4 months worth of video footage showing warlike scenes happening here. None of that footage is from 2020. But then you have Portland Police Chief Bob Day saying, "Oh, the videos that you guys are seeing are from 5 years ago." They are absolutely not. We have the evidence to back it up. And how dare he do that? I'm a journalist. I don't really say this often, but Portland Police Chief Bob Day, you need to resign. You need to resign immediately and now because you are a horrible leader and it's time for you to go.
It's time for you to go. If you're not going to protect the public from these radical leftists, then it's time for you to go. If you're not going to allow police to do their job, then it's time for you to go. There were some arrests made. Over the course of the evening last night. And there's one in particular that I really liked. There's one in particular that I really, really, really enjoyed. I told you guys, if you were watching in the chat about 14 minutes ago, you were going to laugh your asses off. This would be the part of the show that I was talking about. So here we have an arrest.
How many permit violations are we up to now? 27?
But Kevin, what are you talking about? That isn't funny. No, the video of him inside of the police station is absolutely hilarious, shaking and quivering in the corner like a little bitch. Like a little bitch. Look at this guy. Oh, one more time. Oh, you want to be a revolutionary, huh? You want to be a revolutionary, you little fat gauged ear cosplaying. I don't know what you want to. I could play this video on, you know what, I'm gonna play it on loop because why the hell not, while I verbally abuse this guy. Let's turn the volume down as he shakes and quivers in the corner like a little coward. Oh, really? You want to stop the fascism? Stop the fascism. There's Nazis in the street. And then when you get put into a chair in a police station, you shake and quiver like your world is, oh, what's the matter? Did they steal your gloves, sweetheart? Aw, what's the matter, bro? Not ready to fix the world? I could watch this video on loop. You know why? And we are watching it on loop because why the hell not? See, here's the thing about these radical left-wing Antifa members. All they are spoiled little kids stomping their feet in the candy aisle because they're not getting their way. And because the city of Portland has gone out of their way to not stop them from pretending to save the world, they get more and more radical. And then when they deal with a little bit of consequence, they shake. Oh my God. I'm going to do a night in jail. First off, who the hell hasn't done an overnight before? You know what? I can leave this up there the entire show. These are the people who think they're saving America from Nazis. Do you think that the French resistance during World War II, when caught and having to spend a night in prison, looked like this thing? I have to assume on some level that this guy's father, like, I don't know, how old do you think he is? 21, 22, maybe? We'll say 25. So I have to assume that he, at one point in his life, his father held him up and said to his friends, guys, I have a son. My son is going to do great things. He'll win the Heisman Trophy, or he'll win the Nobel Prize. And then somewhere along the lines, 21, 22, 25 years later, he gets this fat lump of goo who I could watch it all day. I could watch this all day long. These are the people out there who are saving America from an authoritarian takeover. If America was really being taken over by authoritarianism, and that's the front lines, we are so... But luckily, we're not. Luckily, I can actually hear the audience downstairs laughing their asses off at this. Now, I don't know this guy's name. I don't know where he's from. I don't know what he did in his life that brought him to this very moment where he's cosplaying as like some Call of Duty lieutenant. Like he's out there playing, I don't know, what the hell's that shooting game the kids play now? I don't even know what the hell it's called. He really thinks he's making a difference. This is gold. I could watch this all day. You know what? I'll be honest with you guys. I never watch this show back after it's over, but I'm going to watch it again today. Just so I can see this. I mean, look, he even went out and he got his black pants and he got his dark shirt. The gloves match. The gauges in his ear match the outfit. I'm sure his shoes are black as well. I'm currently getting text messages. What's up, Sarah? Watching on Twitter. People laughing their asses off. This is gold. This is gold. And here's the difference now. While I leave this blob of shit on the screen, if this had just been nipped in the bud when it first started, it would have never gotten to this point. I can just about promise you that this, I mean, you can all but see the pee dripping down his leg right now. I guarantee you, if whoever took this video, I think it was Bill Malugin from Fox, whoever took this video, if he panned out a little bit, there would be a puddle right underneath this guy's feet of him just pissing himself. And I want to be clear, it's Portland. He's not even going to go to jail. All he is detained. He's not even handcuffed. He's probably not even under arrest. And that's what he's getting? That's what we're getting? These are the people who are going to save Western civilization from democracy? The Zorhan Mondani voters? If this is what we're getting, I think we're in good shape, guys. I think we're in good shape. Now, of course, some of them are unbelievably insane, like the person that punched Katie Davis Court in the face, or the guy that shot Charlie Kirk because his furry boyfriend girlfriend, boyfriend, not really sure what. Obviously, some of them are insane. But this guy felt brave enough to go out onto the front lines and get close enough. And get close enough that the police were able to stop him. Sarah Beth said he looks like a child when his dad is about to walk in with the belt. Well, you know, Sarah, what's funny about that is that a lot of this could have been fixed if the father, who, let's be honest, probably isn't in the home right now, if the father had actually used the belt. Because I got news for you, okay? I got news. I'll tell you a little story. Well, no, I'm not going to tell that story. If I was ever arrested for throwing paint on a federal building or setting fire to a dumpster to stop the fascist takeover, if I was ever arrested for that, when I got out, my father would beat the shit out of me. And then I wouldn't have done it again. It's very simple. But that guy who probably, you know what, why is he off the screen? Let's put him back on the screen. Let's leave this guy on the screen for the rest of the show. Let's leave him, I'm going to leave this guy quivering like a little pansy. Man, I tell you what, look at that gut. Look at that soft little pooch. Boy, send him to county for like a month. I bet the gauges in those ears would be used as a handlebar. Oh, man, this is the left. Look at him. Look at him shaking, man. Oh, my, he looks like a Xanax commercial. Are those sweatpants? Is he wearing sweatpants? Bro, you can't, don't you know, you can't stop the fascist takeover of America in sweatpants and a turtleneck. You're wearing the wrong outfit. You think the Wolverines wore those? You think the guys from Red Dawn were dressed like that? No, they weren't. Okay? Chris Helmsworth or Patrick Swayze, depending on how old you are, they didn't dress like that. They were dressed appropriately. Oh, man. I mean, you know what's funny about this guy's shit? Like, he's... Man, is it even a guy? Is it a chick? I don't really know. Could it just be like... Could it be like a dainty, thick-ankled man? Or could it be like some sort of ambiguous lesbian? I don't really know. I mean, really, let's be honest. What's the difference? I could watch this all day long. Oh, man. Yep. Hey, Eli, you better cut that long-ass clip today. We're going to have some fun with this for the rest of the day. Guys, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place because there is a war going on. I could do this all day. You know what? Maybe at... You know what? Give me... You know what? At 3:45, we'll put him back on the screen. That should give me what? That'll give me 20 minutes to write some more jokes about him. Guys, before we keep rocking and rolling here, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. That is the best way to support this show and everything we've got going on over here. Guys, in the chat, let me know what your favorite... let me know what your favorite joke I made so far about this, I don't know, genderless, sexually ambiguous thing is. Let me know what you think my favorite con. Somebody just messaged me. I can't even text right now, but gauges and the handlebars. Yeah, Sarah. Hanging on to those things. Guys, once again, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. We are rocking. We are rolling here. Once again, guys, for the local audience, this Saturday, Montauk Rally. The flyer's up there. All the information's there. Giddy up. Let's go. Let's see. Let's pop the live chat up onto the screen. I'm curious what you guys think is, what you guys think is, your favorite comment so far. What is your favorite comment? Tim on YouTube says, Fatty Tifa. Fat Tifa. Fat Tifa. Yeah, the gay Carol likes the handlebars. You know, it'll give him something to hold on to when he's well, he looks like a Xanax commercial. Ambiguous lesbian. Yeah, well, it's like it's like Saturday Night Live from the 70s, the ambiguously gay duo. Except they were funny, and I'm sure Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd would have handled, being detained for 45 minutes a little bit better than whatever the hell that guy was. Whatever the hell that guy, the ambiguous lesbian. Oh, good stuff. I needed a laugh today. Man, I could do a whole show on that guy. Big old pile of goo. Man, I can't wait to watch this back. I'm going to laugh my ass off. It's going to be fun. Good stuff all around. Guys, we'll be back in 1 second. Here's Jeremy.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Well, it's that time of year again, isn't it? My favorite time of year. Fall. Oh, I love the leaves. I love the autumn smell. I love the pumpkins. I love it all right before the snow flies. But what I don't love that comes with the cold weather and the fall weather is the flu, are the sniffles, the cold. All those common cold sniffles that you get every year. And if you have kids in the house, little kids going to and fro school, and they're coming back and they're touching everything and they're bringing the bacteria and all those viruses home from school, you don't want anything to do with that. You want to be proactive rather than reactive. That's why we're going to talk about propolis today. You know what propolis is? Well, ladies and gentlemen, propolis is what works as a barrier to keep the beehive absolutely safe. And what am I talking about? Well, Beekeepers Naturals. Now, my wife really turned me on to this. This is an endorsement of my wife and then myself as well. Beekeepers Naturals, folks, that is exactly what this is. This is a proactive rather than a reactive, all natural, all clean alternative to big food and big pharma. You've got your Beekeepers vitamin C packs, which are perfect for on the go, right? You've got your Beekeepers Propolis nasal spray. A few shots up the nose, clears out your nostrils, cleans any congestion that you have, and it's all natural, and it's going to work as a proactive barrier to any of that unwanted bacteria getting in. How about the Beekeepers All Natural Propolis Immune Throat Spray? 3 or 4 pumps of that a day, and anything that you're breathing in is going to be either repelled or killed right away. That's the amazing thing about propolis, and that is the amazing thing about Beekeepers Naturals. And I got a 20% discount for you. What's better than that? 20% discount. Look, you can even get the throat soothing pops and the kids' prebiotic fiber pops, along with the throat spray, along with the nasal spray, along with the vitamin C packs. Folks, they've got it all, and it's an all-natural, clean, beautiful option for you to have in order to, get away from the big food, get away from the big pharma, and go more natural, especially with a 20% discount. How can you not go to Beekeepers Naturals today /LFA and get your 20% discount? Clean out your medicine cabinet today with beekeepers.com/LFA. And now back to the show.
You know what, chat? Let's have some fun here, okay? Let's have ourselves a little bit of fun. I am going to put this ambiguous lesbian on one side, and then I'm going to put you all on the other side. And we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun. I want to hear your most obnoxious comment. I want to hear the most vile thing you can think of. Please be creative. Please be funny, because creative and funny are the most important things in the world. Let's see what you have to say about this guy right here who, apparently can't handle being detained for like an hour, 2 hours. Let's see what happens. I'm curious what you savages in the chat can come up with. While we're doing that, guys, do me a favor and head on over to lfatv.us. It's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA-TV related. Check out the LFA-TV store. And while you guys are there, hold on a minute. Did someone who is this? Shiba Rista They busted Manny from Modern Family. He does look like Manny. Oh. Oh, shit, that's funny. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I guarantee you he dropped a deuce. Yep. I'm still trying. I still think those are sweatpants. They might be jeans. I don't really know. They might be jeans. Yo, I cannot believe someone just... And this is why tigers eat their young, said Kiss. Said Kiss, what's up? Let's see. What else we got here? I'm here all week, folks. Oh... We need a sombrero meme with this guy. Everyone else is getting one. If there's anyone else, if there's anyone out there that can make a gif or a meme that put the sombrero on this guy, and you send it to me, I will send you any free piece of merchandise I have on the store. Anything you want, I will send to you. Because I don't know how to do that, and I need that in my life. Manny from Modern Family. Oh, that's funny shit. All right, let's get on with the news. Let's get on with the news, because I can make fun of this guy all day. Oh, I can make fun of this guy all day. We'll put him up in like 10 more minutes. Because there actually is other news that I want to make sure that I get to. We got shutdown stuff. We got Carolyn Levitt trolling the press room. Let's start with Memphis. So we moved from Portland, and now we're down in Tennessee. And for the people of Tennessee, I've got a big announcement coming up for the people of Tennessee. Is there anybody in the chat who lives in Tennessee, in the Nashville area? You're going to want to keep a date open. I'll let you know about that very soon. But apparently, CNN, the rich white people who go on CNN every single day, and the rich black people who go on CNN, the people who have drivers that bring them to and from their beautiful penthouses, and they never have to experience crime, they keep saying that Memphis does not need Donald Trump. Memphis, Tennessee does not need the National Guard in there to protect their people. Here with Jonathan Capehart, another rich liberal, just very triggered over the Memphis situation.
Thank you for that. So, Jonathan, it's not just that they're sending people in where they've been told they aren't wanted or needed, but what do you make of the use of the word unleashed?
Yeah, I unleashed, and also the other word, I think it was Secretary Hegseth who said the handcuffs are off. You know what the handcuffs are, Chris? It's called the Constitution. It's called due process. It's called the presumption of innocence. And so when you have the Deputy White House Chief of Staff tell law enforcement officers that they are, quote, unleashed to do what? It is one, disturbing that the President of the United States is using National Guards folks and threatening put the military on American streets to police Americans. But it's also troubling that you have a high-ranking White House official who is basically telling law enforcement officers that they don't have to pay attention to or follow the Constitution when exercising their duties. And so, I hear, the number of arrests that have been made. Well, what kinds of arrests are these? And who are the people who are being arrested?
Funny you should ask. Who are being arrested? Well, this guy, for one. Who's being arrested, Jonathan? This guy. That's who. Let's leave him up there.
I saw one story this morning, Chris, where a member of the National Guard said that they're basically figuring out who to stop, pull over, search, arrest based on what they look like. And we know that that is now permissible, given what the Supreme Court ruled over the summer, if not last month, in terms of what the National Guard can do. I believe it was in Los Angeles, that case.
So I want to quote exactly what Stephen Miller had to say. The handcuffs you're carrying, they're not on you anymore. They're on criminals. Also saying you're unleashed, obviously to use them. The Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen, who represents Memphis, called those speeches wartime rhetoric. He wrote to Hegseth and Bondi, quote, "We are not a training ground or target practice."
Yes, Cohen. Congressman Cohen. The same guy who brought in a bucket of fried chicken into Congress to call Donald Trump a chicken. Which isn't funny. I'll tell you what is funny, though. Normal residents of Memphis are very, very excited about this, and they feel that the media is not really paying attention to them. So one guy decided he was going to take it upon himself to, let CNN know how he felt.
FBI, it's been an alphabet soup of law enforcement as we've seen them get ready and go out and make runs throughout the day. We know more than 50 arrests were made just last night, 20 guns taken off the street in the last 48 hours. You see people like this who behind me with this sign. He has it on both sides. If you can flip it around and show what he's saying, he's hoping that this action by Trump will help make the city safer. Take a listen to a man that we talked to in a neighborhood that basically says he welcomes the idea of this federal action.
If anybody knows who that man is, please get in contact with me. He is my hero. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them photobomb CNN live shots with giant signs thanking President Trump for saving Memphis. Oh, this is funny. Somebody in the comments, WC Shogun 64. Sorry to rain on your parade, but there aren't any riots in Portland right now. Why are you spreading this psyop? It's a psyop. So, I guess this. Somebody in the comments has a problem with me showing you this because apparently it makes me a psyop. A psychological operation instead of just looking at it yourself. It's a psyop. Thank you for jumping into the live stream, though, by the way. Feel free to stick around. We can teach you more things here. We can teach you more things. So as CNN not having a great day with people photobombing their live shots, which if you see a CNN camera, please do that as often as possible because it's hilarious. And it just ruined their day. CNN wasn't having a good day the other day. By the way, did you guys also notice? Did I delete it already? Did you guys also know? I will show you in a second. CNN has their little, where the hell is it? Can I pull it back up real quick? Can I pull it up real quick? If you guys will notice what they have going on here, they have their little clock in the corner. Where the hell did it go? Oh, here it is.
FBI.
They have their little COVID death tracker in the corner there, except now they've replaced it with a government shutdown clock. There's got to be one guy at CNN whose job it is to run that sort of graphic. Not all heroes wear capes, everybody. Not all heroes wear capes. Guys, we'll be back in just a minute because CNN is once again having a very, very bad day yesterday. Caitlin Collins in particular, before we get to that, Old Glory Bank.
When big banks decide who gets access to America's financial systems and who doesn't, who do you think gets left out? Middle Americans who proudly wave their pro-America values. Cancel culture in banking is corrosive. It limits your participation in a vibrant, free market economy. Fortunately, you can fight back. You now have the opportunity to invest in the bank that's investing in a fair American banking system, one based in freedom. Ownership in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank, is here. Old Glory Bank is a full-service FDIC-insured bank that's the alternative to overreaching, un-American big banks. We stand for privacy, security, and liberty. We stand for freedom, family, faith, and the flag. We stand for all the values you stand for, and for the values big banks can't stand. So help keep banking in the hands of Main Street, not Wall Street. To invest in Old Glory Bank, go to oldglorybank.com.
Guys, dealing with possibly ambiguous lesbians in sweatpants in Portland is difficult, but do you know what isn't? Switching banks over to Old Glory Bank. I did it, and you guys did it too, with over 900 locations all over the country. To make all of your transactions, Old Glory Bank makes it easy and affordable to switch banks to a bank that supports your values and your morals, guys. Privacy and security is their top priority, and you guys know I keep saying it. Lock in those interest rates, baby, before Jerome Powell either loses his job or wises up, whichever one comes first. Head on over to oldglorybank.com. That's oldglorybank.com. You want to know why I'm telling you to go to Old Glory Bank? Because this guy wouldn't. Does that seem like the kind of guy who banks at Old Glory Bank? No, it doesn't. And you don't want to be like that guy. You don't want to be the guy with the ear gauge prison handlebars. Don't be like our friend here. Don't be like Manny from Family Guy. Head on over to oldglorybank.com. That's oldglorybank.com. So CNN's not having a good day. CNN wasn't having a good day yesterday. We saw the press briefing yesterday with J.D. Vance and Carolyn Levin. And following the press briefing, Caitlin Collins over on CNN, she had some news to report about what was going on in the press room for the rest of the day.
So we played sound from Vice President Vance, not just defending that AI racist video of Minority Leader Jeffries wearing a sombrero, but also like celebrating that video. And it was playing on a loop in the briefing room today. What are you hearing from the inside about that?
It was not only just playing on a loop in the briefing room. If you've never been in the press briefing room, for those who haven't, there are loudspeakers overhead so you can hear announcements or what's being said, or if there's an event going on with the president in the Rose Garden, for example. They were playing that mariachi music as well over the loudspeakers for all the press that was coming in and out of the White House today inside the press briefing room. It just kind of gives you a window, John, into how they're dealing with this and how they believe they have the upper hand when it comes to the messaging here, and also kind of how things have changed from the first time Donald Trump was in office. I mean, there was a shutdown then. I remember all 35 days of it. As the president said at the beginning, he'd be proud to shut the government down, and then it ended, obviously, with him not getting the money for his border wall. This time, you know, there's a moment here. They're being heavily criticized over these posts by the president, by Democrats, and instead of backing off or apologizing for it, they're leaning into it, and they're playing the music over loudspeakers and on repeat inside the briefing room because they simply don't care about that criticism.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thank you very much.
They played it on loop all day over the loudspeakers. But how does Hakeem Jeffries feel about this? How does for some reason, apparently a black guy wearing a sombrero is racist, according to Hakeem Jeffries? Well, just in case that's true.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Oh, it's just too good. It's too good. These people are absolute clowns. Oh, I could watch that all day long. I will never see Hakeem Jeffries ever again without that sombrero on. And here's the difference, everybody, is that when the left makes a meme of J.D. Vance, he leans into it and retweets it because he thinks it's funny. Hakeem Jeffries just yells racism and thinks people care.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
I mean, lean into it. If I was Hakeem Jeffries, I'd start growing a mustache. For some reason, mustaches are back in. They shouldn't be, by the way. If you know somebody who has a mustache, tell them that I think that is unacceptable and they should remove it. Unless you are married to Peter Sellers, Keith Hernandez, Tom Selleck, that guy from the Old Town Road video, whose name I can never remember. What the hell's his name? Sam Elliott. Unless you are those four people, you are not allowed to have a mustache. Unless Hakeem Jeffries grows one out. Then we can all laugh about it together. It's called owning the joke. You know, it's like if somebody calls me fat, my retort would be, it would not be, I'm not fat. It would be something along the lines of, and your wife has a chubby fetish. It would be something like that. You own the joke, and that's how you diffuse the joke. But Democrats can't do that because they're not allowed to laugh at things, even if the entire world is laughing at them. And some of them are beginning to have regrets about this government shutdown in big, big ways. We'll get to that in 1 second. Before we do that, Mike Lindell.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code LOUD. You know what? Let's pop our friend back up there. Let's put that live chat back up onto the screen as we are rocking, as we are rolling here, because Democrats are beginning to regret their decision, as their biggest complaint against President Trump is that he's doing whatever he wants. He's violating the Constitution. He's doing everything through executive rule. And then these dithering idiots shut down the government, which gives him the authority to do whatever he wants. That's what happens during a government shutdown. The president and the executive branch is given more authority, is given more power. And suddenly they're starting to realize, be careful, it's a trap.
So, McKay, first of all, fascinating article. And it made me think about how you talk about kind of Russ Vought as, I'd say, the opposite of Elon Musk. You know, he was brought in to head Doge, but he was kind of improvisational, to say the least. But when you talk about Russ Vought, he was always there, right? Quietly, strategically, planning a way. So my question to Michael's point is, what are you watching for next as the two men, the president and Russ Vought, are meeting?
Yeah, the big question that he's going to have to answer in this meeting with President Trump, and that all of us should be paying very close attention to, is where is he recommending furloughs, which is the traditional thing that happens during a shutdown, versus where is Vought recommending reduction in force, which is essentially permanently firing these people, right? Because this is a really important thing that voters and viewers need to understand. This shutdown could be very different from all the shutdowns that we've lived through over the last several years. I think we've become kind of inured to this idea that we have a dysfunctional government, shutdowns happen, it's disruptive, but then they come back. What Vought is trying to do is to use this opportunity to permanently lop off large parts of the federal government, get rid of federal workers that he sees as basically not on board with the Trump train. And to Michael's point, when I would ask Vought's allies, well, what about this question of when a Democrat gets back into the White House? That's going to happen someday. Aren't you going to regret, this huge power grab? And what they said to me, and they were very candid about it, to their credit, they said, well, the goal is to unravel enough of the federal government now that it will make it impossible for Democrats to rebuild it even when they do get back to the White House.
One of the things I'm committed to do.
Yeah. Nail, meathead. It's exactly what we're doing. And how do I know we're doing that? Well, during the Doge era of the American government, more than 1 million people took the get paid to stay home for 6-month plan, which, they were furloughed, saying, don't come into work, we'll pay you, you have 6 months to find a job. Well, over the course of the last 48 hours, it's almost like they timed this up on purpose. More than 1 million people have left the federal government. And I'm sorry if you lost your job. I really am. But if you've ever worked in a government office, you know that most people, and I don't care what it is, from your local village to your town to your city to your state, all the way up to the federal government, if you've ever worked in a government office, you know the majority of the people in that office aren't doing shit all day long. They just aren't. The government is not a federal jobs program. It just isn't. And I'm sorry if you think that it is. But just because you're an accountant doesn't mean you deserve to work at the Department of the Interior. I'm sorry. Where you have endless job security based on your limited knowledge of how to do almost anything else. Shit happens, like Scott Jennings said. Boom.
There are political power players. Scott Jennings and Karen Finney are here.
Well, the president did try to bring them into the room the other day, and they wouldn't budge. I mean, look, the facts here are pretty simple. The Republican Party has put on the floor and voted for a clean, continuing resolution, no changes. These are Biden budget numbers, by the way, and numbers that Democrats have voted for 13 times. Nothing up our sleeves here, Caitlin. They're trying to keep the government open long enough to negotiate things like the health care issue, which you were just debating, which I actually think maybe Republicans will wind up dealing on that. But they're not going to do it under duress, and they're not going to do it under threat of rolling back all the Medicaid reforms that were done this summer. So I think President Trump tried to bring the Democrats in. And at the end of the day, I think the American people know here they're looking at two parties. One's trying to do a bunch of funny business. One's trying to keep the doors open. And right now, I don't think the funny business side is winning in the eyes of the American people.
Well, I just want to correct something. Scott, you know how much I respect you, but let's be honest here.
I don't need to be corrected, and I don't need to be told I'm dishonest, Karen. But by all means, go ahead. We're stunned. I'll just be honest with you. We're stunned. I mean, the Democratic constituencies are principally immigration populations and government workers. This is what your party relies on, and you've closed shop on government in Washington, D.C., and eventually they're going to get tired of it. There is no reason this government cannot be left open.
Americans who voted for Kamala Harris were all immigrants?
No, I'm saying
that's not true.
I'm saying I'm listening to Democratic arguments about most policy issues, and I'm looking at Democratic energy, and it mostly has to do with things to do with immigrants, illegal and some legal, and things to do with government bureaucrats. And right now, you're putting one of your constituencies out of business.
Can I say one thing, which is that people who are in the country illegally cannot get these subsidies that we're talking about.
Sure they can.
No, they can't.
No, they can't. It's federal law, Scott.
Who do you think pays when they go to the emergency room? It's the Medicaid emergency program.
Going to the emergency room is not getting an Obamacare subsidy.
You guys are conflating. You guys are conflating these issues. You're conflating these issues.
And you're being dishonest with
the
the
subsidies are a separate issue. The Medicaid program cuts are a different thing.
Right, but I'm talking about
Medicaid
subsidies.
and the Obamacare stuff are two different issues. And I said the subsidies may get negotiated over time. But what Democrats want to do is roll back what the Republican Medicaid reforms were. They want, look, I don't understand why everybody's so mad. For time immemorial, Democrats have argued that it's good. It's good for illegal immigrants to get Medicaid. Every candidate for president in 2020 raised their hand for it. In the big, beautiful bill debate, they argued it was good policy. I can't believe there's an about-face in the Democratic Party on it today.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Hold on. I got a question for Karen, but Scott.
You saw the clip from the debate. They all want it. And now suddenly we're not getting that. Here's what they did. Okay? They made everyone a protected refugee. They gave them special exemptions from Haiti and Venezuela and Cuba and a whole bunch of other third world countries. And then they became eligible for Obamacare subsidies. Don't believe me? Listen to Jake Tapper fact check Hakeem Jeffries live on TV.
Donald Trump blessed it as well.
So let me ask you about a provision that the Republicans are talking about quite a bit. I know you want to talk about, and Democrats want to talk about, extending the Obamacare subsidies, which expire at the end of 2025. But they talk about the provisions, and it's right here, subtitle E, and this has to do with the repeal of health care subtitle changes, and specifically what it is. How they characterize it is you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie, but what you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. And also there is this provision, and it's not about undocumented immigrants, it's about people with asylum seekers and people with temporary protected status, et cetera, but about their ability to get Medicaid. So they're non-citizens, they're not undocumented, they're not illegal. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message? I understand that.
Because Hakeem Jeffries is a dumbass. Look, I don't like Nancy Pelosi, but at least she was good at leading her party. I am so impressed with how unimpressive Hakeem Jeffries is. Sucks to suck, bro. But you know what? We got a couple minutes left, so why don't we just leave this guy up on the screen today, considering he has been, basically the totality of the show. Guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Use promo code RUMBLE to get 20% off everything on the website. Check out the new 250 edition. Oh, yeah. Giddy up. Let's go. Is Pete Santilli rock ready to go? Yes, he is. Guys, until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.